Let's do it again. All right, so we're gonna check. Testing one, two, three. Testing one, two, three. Give me a thumbs up in the comments if you can hear the sound now. Hit the button before. We've had this problem. Yes, no, maybe. Thumbs up. All right, we're good to go. Good stuff. So I'll kind of start over. Luckily, we didn't get too far down the road, but here's the idea, right? One thing about creative in marketing is that we're seeing more and more. I came from a background of doing music. And so I was a creator, I was a songwriter and producer. And so the idea is that you would have a certain sound that might be out there. So if somebody has a hit song, take a Rihanna Umbrella, or take maybe Justin Bieber, or somebody in the pop space or in the hip hop space, maybe like a Nelly back in the day. Every so often there comes along a song that's a hit song that's kind of unique. And then people just turn around and start to copy that over and over and over again, right? And so what happens is people forget how to do things that are unique, how to stand out in their own way. But then people wonder why they can't stand out because there's so much noise. And this is, years ago before there was even like social media and cell phones and things of that nature, where we would consume so much content on a daily basis on our phones. And so what we're talking about today is how you can be more creative, why you need to be more creative, and why the lack of being creative is actually killing your marketing, right? So people ask over and over again, how do I stand out? How do I get more leads? How do I get more customers, etc.? And so there's three things that you want to do with your creativity and your marketing, and we can talk about why it's so important. I remember Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V as he's known, talks a lot about creative is the difference in your marketing, right? Creative is going to be the advantage. And what creative means simply is that how can you convey an idea in a different way, right? So if you have 100 different ads or 100 different other people that are in your marketplace, right? How can you be the one? Let's pretend that's a star, all right? How can you be the one that shines brightest that can actually overshadow everyone else in your space? And here's the thing, you don't have to be the biggest or the baddest, have the most ad budget at all. There are so many different avenues and platforms you can utilize to be able to stand out and to be able to grow and become more viral, if you will. There's got TikTok, you've got Instagram, you've got Facebook, you've got LinkedIn, and people are winning on all these different platforms because they're doing different things. And I want to focus less on the tactical and more so on what it is about them that is maybe helping people be able to stand out. And that aspect overall is creative, but it has to do three things, right? So if you want to stand out wherever you are, You got to think about what that thing is. And there's examples of that everywhere we go. If you think about, let's think about Netflix and some of the breakout shows, right? So you've had shows that were over the years have become hugely popular. And there's something that's unique about them each, right? So let's take, back in the day, it was House of Cards, right? And then let's go more recently and think of another, maybe drop in the comments. What's a popular Netflix show that you watch, right? The House of Cards was back in the day. Last year we had, what's the show about chess, right? I'll just put the chess show because I can't remember the name of it, right? My wife and I ended up watching that. Very, very unique. We had Squid Game, right? I haven't even seen Squid Games, but it's one of the most popular shows ever on Netflix, right? But each of these was an outlier in their own way. Now, there's nothing particularly unique about a show about the presidency or about politics, right? There's nothing necessarily unique about a show about an underdog playing a sport, right? But what they did was, there's nothing necessarily unique about a game show, but there was something that was unique in the way that they presented it, and the creative was the variable. It was the difference. The creative was the one that made it stand out, and there's something that they all had in common that they were able to do, right? So they're able to tell a show in a very particular way, tell a story in a very particular way, that able to capture people's attention. There was an element of timing to it, right? And so when everything else looked the same, they did something very, very different. There's a book that I love by Marty Neumeier, right? And it conveys this concept very, very simply, right? It's called Zag, right? And it just simply says when everyone else zigs, you zag. So everyone else is going this way, you want to go this way. So it's when you are seeing people, everyone is saying the same things, using the same ClickFunnels templates, when they're saying all the same stories, how can you tell something that is unique and creative? And there's certain elements that you can lean into, the emotional aspect of it. You want to make sure that you are really telling a story that grabs people's heartstrings. And there's a concept that I teach, a framework that I teach, called the story graphics framework, right? And we won't talk about that today. But one of the key elements of understanding this, and I've been telling this with my clients, is that what you have to do is understand people more deeply than they even understand themselves. If you have a deeper understanding of your clients, and a lot of people right now, the big word is data. How do we get more data on our clients? Well, data is information, but information is not enough. What you need to understand the story that frames their reality and the thing that you can lean into, and how can you grab that? And there are certain common elements in every single person that we have, right? And the funny thing is, like, even as you're being creative with your marketing, even as you're being creative with your storytelling, it doesn't matter whether you're pitching people or the business. It doesn't matter if you are marketing a product, if you're marketing a sales. It doesn't matter if you're a leader in a organization, right? If you have the element of surprise with the creative, you can do some things that people simply can't replicate, even as they're copying you, right? And I'll be honest with you, I fall into the same regard, right? Let me know also in the comments below if you've ever there's somebody that you tend to follow, somebody that you look at and say, I wish that would be them, right? Because I fall guilty and prey to the same thing. I see a certain way the infographics are put on social media, or a certain way that somebody does their video, or things like that. And it makes me say, oh, I want to be able to do something cool like that too, right? So there are elements that we are all kind of looking for that we want to be able to incorporate. But there are three key ingredients to being able to have powerful creative that's going to stand out. And the first thing that you want to be able to do is you want to be able to arrest people's attention, right? Which means that when they're scrolling in their feed, it's called a pattern interrupt, right? You want to be able to interrupt that whole process. Now, I watch my wife on her phone, right? And when she's scrolling on Facebook, she's doing it like this, which is how a lot of women do. I find, I scroll very, very slowly. I scroll and I look at the the post and I say, I'm interested or not. And then I'll go on, right? But a lot of people are scrolling very, very quickly. So you need something that's going to, it's going to make the record skip. It's going to stop people in their tracks and say, oh, I got to be able to see what this is. This is different. This is unique. That's the aspect of creative. And before I hit the other two, I know that some people may be saying, well, I'm not really a creative person, or I'm not really whatever. But again, going back to the concept of zigging versus zagging, how can you take your mind out of the normal way of thinking? How can you, if you have a team, you have a marketing team, you have employees that are working with you, how can you start thinking outside the box, thinking against the grain, so you can start standing out more in whatever your marketplace is, whether you're a restaurant or you have a plumbing company, whatever the case may be. There's a company here in Atlanta. It's called Pink Plumbers, right? It's a woman-owned company. They have pink vans, pink branding, or whatever. They stand out because most plumbers are known to be men, right? And it's pretty boring, just run-of-the-mill. They actually have decorative, creative vans and creative plumbing. And so they leaned into the female element of their branding to be able to stand out and tell a different story. So that's a creative way to market your business, all right? Let me know if this is resonating for you, all right? But the first thing you want to do is you want to be able to arrest attention. You want to make sure that you can stop people and capture their attention. The next thing you want to make it is you want to make it memorable, right? In the Seven Figure Circle $1 Million Mastermind, we did a master class with a friend of mine named Mike Broderick. And he has a concept called memorableness, right? Which simply says, is the concept digestible and enough that people can replicate it, they can remember it, and then they can be able to share it, right? And when they can share it with others in a way that's so simple and clear, your idea can become viral, it can grow, it can expand, right? You take that same concept and you put that into creativity and you think about a slogan, something that is memorable. There are so many slogans that come around now that just are meaningless to me because they don't really resonate. They don't have any further weight or ability to go viral because they're either not memorable or they're just meaningless. So memorable and being meaningful is really, really important. You think about some of the slogans that have lasted throughout the history of advertising. And where's the beef, for instance, right? Or the Snickers, like you're not you when you're hungry, right? These are elements of being creative. And you may not be a quote unquote creative in your mind, but if you start thinking outside the box, there's ways that you can start to come up with things, understanding your clients, understanding how to arrest their attention. What are the things they're looking for? And what are the things they're going to remember? What's going to make that memorable about your advertising, your marketing, your message? What's going to make people stand up and say, I remember that. I can share that, right? And the reason why you want people to be able to share it is this. Because the thing that makes something go viral is that it creates a certain level of status. So if you're ever in a text group, a text chain or whatever, you're in a Facebook group, somewhere where people share memes or links to videos and things of that nature. The reason why people share it is, yes, sometimes they want to be valuable. Sometimes they're funny. Sometimes they are motivational or inspirational or educational. But at the end of the day, the one reason why people share things is simply because it gives them status. In our minds, if I share something that is valuable with you, by proxy, it makes me more valuable, right? And so if you want to be able to engage, have your content that engages people on a higher level, you need to be able to create stuff that allows them to gain some sort of status. And so you use the emotion of it, you use the content or the creativity to be able to help that person to adopt status by sharing what you have, right? And so when you're thinking on this level, it allows you to be able to expand. And here's the thing, that you don't want to just do marketing. You need to do marketing in a way that stands out, that actually grabs people by the neck and says, this is something that's powerful and I need to pay attention. And so it's all subconscious, a lot of psychological things that go in mind, but this is a framework that kind of helps people understand how you can do that. You want to be creative. And so allowing yourself to be creative is a really important thing. The last thing I want to share with you is just a lot of people would say that I am not creative, right? And here's what I'll tell you. In my book, Breaking Orbit, I wrote about the fact that creativity is a part of our gift. Creativity is the element or expression of your gift. And so we're all creative in our own ways. There was a study that showed that when children are very young, they are tested out at about 98% genius level creativity, which means that we're all born with a genius. We're all born with a creative gene inside of us, right? You've never seen a child get a piece of paper and get writer's block or drawing block, right? They sit there, they take the crayon, they take the pen, and because they have the tools in their hand, they just begin to create. And sometimes they don't even know what they're drawing until it's done, right? And then you ask them, oh, this is a dog, or this is a cat, or this is a house with the sun and the yard, right? The reason for that is because they've never been told that they're not creative. Creativity is a natural thing. What happens is that over time, and studies have shown that over time, as we become young adults, most people end up testing out by the time they're a young adult at around a 5 or 6% creative, genius level creative level. And that's because we start to put these barriers and boundaries on who and what is creative. And so I would just suggest to you to take the boundary off of that and not say that I am not creative, I am going to be creative, or I am creative, and we're going to think on a certain level and start using certain tactics that you can be able to expand your mind, certain frameworks that allow you to think in different ways, zigging instead of zagging, thinking about how you can grab people's attention, how you can be more memorable, how you can help them get more status, and thinking more deeply about how you can serve your people because you understand them better, maybe than they even understand themselves. So hopefully this has been valuable for you. Check the comments here. I don't know if anybody has any questions. If you're watching this on Facebook or LinkedIn, I see we've got some people on YouTube as well. Please make sure you're liking and subscribing on YouTube and sharing that because we want to be able to reach more people there as well. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, head on over to Icon Status, our YouTube channel, and subscribe there as well so we can continue to share more of this great, valuable information. I appreciate you all. We are off to cook dinner for the kids, not cook, but make lunch for the kids. And I look forward to hearing more about this as well. Oh, I almost forgot. Okay, so on December 6th, I want to make sure that you guys are knowing about this. We have an incredible event that's coming up. I'll make sure I drop the link below because I don't think I can drop it in here. Let me see if I can find the link right quick and share it with you. But we have the $1 Million Year, which is going to be our year-end event where we're inviting 500 plus entrepreneurs to come in and learn about how they can find and discover the blueprint for their $1 Million Year, how to build a $1 million business, a 7-figure business in 12 months or less. And if you are tired and frustrated with your progress in your business, and you feel like you're stuck, you can't quite get the momentum, you don't exactly know where you're going, you're not sure what is happening from day to day, and you just want to be able to create more powerful results in your business, this is going to be something that is amazing for each and every one of you. I am so excited to be able to share this experience with you. Let me drop this in the comment here. This won't go to everybody at once, but that's fine. But make sure it's in the comments right now. Make sure that you are hitting that link so you can register. The investment is 90 minutes of your time where we will dive deep into what this blueprint looks like, what some of the barriers are that you may be facing and dealing with those challenges, how you can work through them. We'll be doing 3 pre-training events where we will give you small assignments that will prepare you to get the most out of this event as well. And we want to really support you in what you're doing. And if you are ready now, right, and you know that you would like some support, stop banging your head against the wall, be able to create more time and freedom for yourself, to spend with your family, to be able to do those things which remind you the reason why you started your business in the first place and create that impact, then I encourage you to register. Look, one of the things that people tend to do is they tend to wait until they can figure out they're going to have time and then commit. And what I would encourage you to do is commit now. Say, I'm going to go. And even if something comes up and you're not able to make it, you can have the replay. Or just reach out to me now and send us a message and let us know if there's a way we can serve you and support you. Because you don't have to keep getting the same results that you got before. You can make a different choice. That's why we're entrepreneurs. That's why we're leaders and business owners. It's because we wanted to seize the bull by the horns and make things happen. And if you're going to continue to go in the same pattern and go around in the same loop, then you're just going to end up in the same place that you were before. And so next year, next November, next December, you'll be saying the same things. And so if you don't know how things are going to be different, then I encourage you to register for this event, because the $1 Million Year will reveal to you not only how things can be different, but how you can chart that path forward to make sure that next year, beginning now, next year, will be the best year in your business and the best year in your life. So hopefully that is support, that is helpful for you. Yes, you are welcome for the encouragement. You are creative. We are all creative. And you can lean into that to be able to share your message, to be able to spread the gospel of your business and what you're out to create for your clients and for your customers as well. All right. Hopefully that's valuable for you. I am out of here. We'll talk to you soon. My name is Frederick Douglass Bussey, founder of Icon Status. Shoot me a message. Let me know what you've been discovering through this whole process. All right. Ever forward.